Drums, please.
And we're back like a heart attack. The Relationships and Chill podcast season 2 is back and better than ever. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, sit back, chill, and enjoy the ultimate podcast for relationships and dating. Stay tuned.
You're listening to Relationships and Chill, the podcast for singles and couples about how to find and cultivate the relationship you've always dreamed of, based on trust and honest communication. Why waste your time going through the typical dating obstacle course, only to end up with drama, jealousy, and heartbreak, when you can find the love of your life and live happily ever after? So sit back, chill, and get ready to make relationships great again.
Greetings, everyone. Greetings. We are finally back with another episode of the Relationships and Chill podcast, the ultimate podcast for dating and relationships. I am your host, Coach R. Anthony. Relationshipsandchill.com is the website, and we got an amazing episode for you guys today. We are glad to be back. Happy 2019 and all of the et ceteras. I guess we'll just jump right into it. Let me introduce the peeps on board. Of course, we have my lovely wife, Coach Lulu.
Hey,
Y'all
everybody.
give it up for her, you know what I'm saying? We got Coach Christina in the building. You know what I'm saying? Give it up for Coach Christina Lynn. And, of course, we got Candace in the building. No applause for her. Junior baby. Yeah, Junior baby. That's what we stick with. Yeah, Junior baby for a third time. Today's topic I want to talk on. Well, first of all, we're back, and this season 2 of the Relationships and Chill podcast, we're going to be really focusing in on just constant development, self-improvement, and the ability to give the best of yourself in any relationship that you find yourself in. And so that's the main focus of this particular season. We'll have a lot of amazing guests. We got a lot of great guests scheduled. So, be on the lookout. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now so that you don't miss anything, any of the great information that will be released on Relationships and Chill. Make sure you definitely go onto the website, relationshipsandchill.com. Check out the great information there, and definitely you want to go ahead and subscribe to the email list. Sign up for that list, the love letter. We will be sending out some other great information on there that you can stay in contact with and build the relationship of your dreams with. So without further ado, today's topic, we're going to be talking about maintaining your uniqueness within your relationship. And so many times people identify or want to identify themselves through their relationship. They want to be, their ultimate goal is to be a husband, a wife, or whatever title people find themselves in, but or girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. That is what they want to identify themselves as. And then within the confines of that relationship, they begin to take on that perspective. But in this episode, we want to kind of take a step back from that and see why that could potentially be a problem when you only identify yourself within a relationship, and then everything about who you are gets lost in the relationship and you don't have an identity.
My thing with
This is
maintaining
Coach
the
Lulu.
my thing is maintaining the uniqueness in a relationship is first establishing like what they consider their uniqueness, because like you were saying, a lot of people attach it to outside labels or outside things that they do, as opposed to traits within themselves that make them unique.
Wow.
Like, give us an example.
For example, somebody might pre-relationship might attach their uniqueness to doing whatever they want whenever they want. Maybe a job, maybe their social life, and then when they get into a relationship, all that, obviously it's going to be adjusted, because now you're trying to
You got to make some decisions.
bring your lives together,
Right. And then you have some decisions to make, like which one is priority.
right? And
Ah,
then if
that's
people
true.
put their weight of their uniqueness or who they are in the things that were outside of themselves back in their single life, they're gonna feel like, I've lost myself. Like I've
Right. There is a healthy balance. You have to have
Right.
a healthy a balance to it, because you definitely don't want to become so unique that you're no longer in the relationship anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you don't want to be so tied into the relationship that you have no value to bring, because everything you are is attached to the relationship. So if you're not constantly feeding yourself by going outside and going to the things that feed you, then it's going to be hard to contribute on a higher level to the relationship that keeps and maintains the relationship flowing and developing over time. Because then you become a nuisance. Then you become just someone who is just in the relationship, and the person that is in the relationship with you will have to overcompensate for
Right.
your inability to contribute to the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And then too, like one point I would want to bring out too is that we're all going to change in relationships, especially when you're with a person who is really good for you. You will notice great changes in yourself. And usually that's a big sign that a woman has found a good mate. Especially for us women, because you guys lead. You lead and you mold, and that's something that you guys are
We should lead and
decide.
should mold, but a lot of guys don't, is what I'm finding. A lot of guys just don't know
Yeah.
how to lead a relationship. So, but then that's kind of what we're getting into. So, but yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah, yeah, but that's one of the significant signs that you have found a good candidate, is that like he's good with leading. He's great at leadership, and and he's good with easing you into molding. And I like to say easing because a lot of us women, we are very headstrong, we are dynamic, we are very bold. A whole lot of us are used to being on our own. And when you have a man that comes into your life and you're like, wow, like this guy is extraordinary. There's something about who he is that makes me want to be a better version of who I am. Not that it makes me want to change who I am, because who I am is who I am, but a better version of me constantly
Which is
expanding in this
now,
relationship.
now I will say, because that's kind of conflicting if you think about it. Because you said a better version of you, which will require change.
Exactly.
So it's okay if somebody comes into the relationship, or you're in a relationship with somebody who can change you.
Mhm.
But like you said, for the better, that's the key indicator. It's not, you're going to change.
Oh, yeah.
Change is inevitable. Certain things are similar from, throughout our lives, or concurrent throughout our lives, but you are going to change. If you're not changing and progressing, you are digressing.
Mhm.
So you want somebody who is constantly improving also, but that requires a certain level of uniqueness to have the focus on what you need as an individual to constantly improve yourself, which affects the whole of the relationship.
Wow.
I was going to say that for me personally, I just think it's a matter of just being authentic when you get with somebody, and not trying to adapt yourself to what you think that person needs.
True,
or what you
yeah.
think that person
That's
wants.
right. Absolutely.
And just maintaining that individuality. And it's okay. Like a lot of women, like, never watch football a day in their life, and never watch sports a day in their life. Next thing you know, they die-hard Laker fans, or they die-hard Falcons fans,
Right.
and knowing good and well they can't stand.
Right.
Right.
Knowing good and well they would rather be at home watching Housewives than at Taco Mac, with him and his homies, watching the game. So for me personally, I think it's just I think it's just remaining your authentic self, and just and of course, if your spouse likes certain things, you definitely want to try to indoctrinate yourself in some of those things, because it just makes it just helps you understand them better. I think a lot of women have that chameleon mentality where they get with a guy and they become this, as Christina Lynn said, this shaping or this molding, but it's leading them away from who they are and what they genuinely offer versus what they think this man is needing and what they think that he wants. And then they become Play-Doh, and they start to fit this ideology that they've made up that they've made up in their minds.
Right.
This is who I'm supposed to be when I'm with him. And I think that's when that phrase comes out where it says, well, I was never like this with my ex, or I was never, I never did stuff like this. Well, it's like, okay, then girl, and I can't speak from a guy's perspective because I'm not a man. So I'm not trying to, like, I'm dogging out the ladies or nothing like that because I'm a lady too or whatever. It's just, I can only speak, from what I've experienced with friends or my own personal testimony or whatever the case may be. So that's my 2 cents or whatever for now.
Well, I mean, like you said, the thing is, a lot of women haven't created an identity, or they believe that a relationship identity should be different from a single identity. So it creates that kind of division between the two. And then later on in the relationship, when she tries to gain that quote unquote individuality, then it becomes, who are you? For a lot of guys, it becomes like this ain't the person I was with. And a lot of married men, you'll see this online or on TV, they complain a lot about how their wives have changed. And become somebody different, and they feel like they've been bamboozled.
They feel like when I met you, you used to go out, we used to have fun, and now you all of a sudden became a homebody. But it's like, was that pre-children? Was it post-children? Like, I'm a mom now.
Right. So you changed.
So I have changed, but I can honestly say I'm still, the essence of my spirit is the same. I've just added other layers to myself, and I've removed other layers of myself. But the essence of who I am is the same.
Right. Exactly. But don't you think that also that adds another layer to the relationship, because now you can actually expand the relationship by adding other facets and aspects of who you are. But the key to that will be communication, the ability to communicate those things, your individuality now. But that's why it's so important to establish that individuality, so that you can be able to express that, hey, I'm changing in this area. Because if you don't have that already identified, then how can you properly communicate to someone that you're changing in an area when you don't know how you were before in that area?
Exactly.
Or you have identified yourself. You've identified yourself in a way that when I get in a relationship with somebody, I'm going to be like this, as opposed to being like that now. So now you have to take the time to see how you are now, right? You find somebody.
Oh, I understand.
And then you meet somebody. And then you bring what you are now into the relationship, but you have to first know where you start from in order to say, okay, I'm changing in this department, or I'm changing in that department. Right. This is something different for me now. So now let me introduce you to the new person that has been affected by these parts of the relationship. Because you ain't have no children by yourself.
That's right.
So they in the relationship with you is what I'm saying.
That's right. And not just relationships will change you. Time can change you. Like situations can change you. Circumstances. Definitely. Yeah. Like tragedies can change you.
Money, honey, money.
Money can definitely change you. But really, like you're always changing. Like you are always changing. But you know what this ties into for me, you guys? Like it reminds me of how we spoke about what does a woman really want, and and how so many people really don't know what they want. Exactly. We don't even know what we want. Exactly. So how can you have a great relationship and aim for a great guy with all these things that you want when you don't even know what you want to begin with?
Clue.
You don't got a clue. And this is the same thing. It goes the same exact way. Like if you don't know, what it is inside of you that you want changed, because I know that there's been guys that I have been with that like throughout my life, like where I could see, this is something I would like to do. Like, I want to take on entrepreneurship, for example. And there was a gentleman who inspired me. Like, it is simple. You set it up in your head and this is what you do, and it was just like just that little nudge, influenced my life, for the rest of my life. It was just a change. It was just like, oh, okay, I thought that entrepreneurs were people who came from great backgrounds, great, finances and, yada, yada, yada. I didn't realize, this is something that we all can do. At any time, at any point in time, we could just choose. Oh, I want to make money while I'm sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so like just a little bit is like you can get from every person that you deal with, but especially a guy with great leadership skills, who really sets like an example. But again, you as a woman have to know what you're looking for in order to even get to that guy.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Because that guy's not just gonna appear. You got to be that vibrational match.
I agree.
You know?
I mean, and I think our uniqueness, once you start to investigate your uniqueness, it'll be easier to know what to want, or what you will want, or what you should want in a mate. But without the individuality, without knowing who you are as an individual, it's impossible, because you've attached yourself to how you're going to be in a relationship. So you're not even thinking about how you are now. You're only focusing on the future person that you hope to become or hope to be with. And you're not even thinking about what you have to do to first get there. And then once you meet the person, who are you going to have to be in order to maintain the level of a relationship that you want with them?
Gotcha.
Because a lot of people don't take the time to really focus, and see, that's the thing. Like, this is what I'm getting at. It's not even about I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, and I'm that. It's about identifying the choices that you have made up until this point, and being realistic about the choices that you have made, and saying, well, hey, I'm this. This is who I am. This is who I am, and it's not based on what I believe I am. This is who I am based on the choices that I have made in the past. That's who you really are. Because we love to look ahead and say, well, I'm this great candidate, I'm this great catch, but not looking at all the decisions in the past that show that you may not necessarily be a great catch.
Right. So that's accountability and being honest.
Well, I mean, absolutely. You got to be honest.
Got to be honest.
If you're not honest with yourself, then how can you expect someone to be honest with you? Because you're actually setting the groundwork for dishonesty to enter into your life by telling yourself what's not true.
That was powerful.
I think so. So I mean, establishing your uniqueness, and relationships they will change you. Any relationship will change you. Just any relationship. That's why it's very important to know your individuality, your uniqueness, to be able to decipher who you allow yourself to interact with, because every interaction is a form of a relationship. To some degree, it is a relationship. It's just a matter of identifying why you're relating to this person, and in what capacity are you relating to this person with. So if you don't know that, that's really a good sign of your uniqueness, because who you're attracting into your life is telling you a story about who you really are. So if you're attracting no good women, there's something within you that's either identifying with those types of women or those types of men, and you don't know how to recognize anything different. But the reality of it is, you're only getting what you already know. So if you're not liking what you're attracting, then it's time to start to reevaluate yourself and seeing what you're saying to yourself, the thoughts that you're thinking, because that's telling the story of who you really are and what you truly believe. That's your uniqueness. And as you start to focus on those things that you're telling yourself by assessing the people that you're drawing in and the situations that you're drawing in, then you'll begin to see the things that you think and how they're connected. There is no disconnections.
And ask questions. Ask yourself questions. I find that when I ask myself questions, the answers will come. You ask yourself, what do I bring to the table? Because what I'm bringing to the table could be a whole lot of great things. I'm positive, I'm motivational, I'm kind, I'm loving, blah, 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 blah. But then it could be also, I've got baggage from 15 years ago that I'm still holding. I'm still carrying it. Be honest with yourself and who you are. And it's okay, because as you see who you are, you can change those things on your own, before the relationship even comes into play. And if you are in a relationship that's dysfunctional and unhappy and, and unsatisfying, then at that moment, when you see it within yourself, oh, okay, wait a minute. I've got a lot of power here. I'm one of the reasons why I'm dealing with this relationship.
Right.
It's me. This is inside of me. When you realize your power and that you're not helpless, and that there's not somebody up on the golden throne saying, okay, this is how your life is going to be delegated. Once you realize that is true power right there. That's power.
And that's true uniqueness. That's true. That's true uniqueness. That's who you are. You have the ability to do that. So, it's very important to make sure that you're understanding that, hey, everything I am attracting and allowing into my life is because I've chosen, or I've allowed it. Obviously, I've allowed it to happen because of what I know or what I don't know. So then it's time to go back to the drawing board, and the drawing board is who you are, your individual person, but not allowing yourself to be open enough to invest into that unique person that you are, so that you can have a lot to offer in a relationship, long standing, for a duration of time, for the rest of your life. Hopefully, if you're focusing on having a relationship for the rest of your life, you'll be able to add value to your relationship for the rest of your life because of your individual uniqueness, who you are as an individual soul unit. And so I find that to be very important. So to kind of recap, it's really about understanding yourself and really honing yourself and becoming the best individual that you can be in order to attract the best individuals that you want. People have this pie in the sky fairy tale mentality as it relates to relationships, and just think it's going to just drop out of the sky and they're going to be all in love and have the all white wedding and then fly off in a helicopter to Dubai and it's happily ever after. But the reality of it is, it's not like that. It's based on who you are as an individual. There is no way around it. And people that do somehow people that somehow have that type of situation, they end up worse off over time than it was before. The relationship is, they self-sabotage the relationship, and it ends up not working out. So, and
the last thing I want to say is, don't hold someone else to a standard that you don't hold yourself.
Absolutely.
Like, don't hold someone to a standard that you don't hold yourself. And that's just that. Like, don't say, and just really quickly to backtrack off of something Christina Lynn said, was when she said she knew she wanted to be an entrepreneur. Same thing with me. Like, I knew I wanted to be bossed up, but I didn't know, how that would go about. So my husband is very entrepreneurial, and through him being entrepreneurial, it has allowed me into the highways and byways of what that looks like, from a bird's eye view. But that was a standard that I already set for myself. I didn't know exactly how it looked. I didn't have all the education behind it, but I paired myself with someone who was able to teach me, learn me, and develop me. And we were able to grow together. So the only thing I just wanted to top off on the cherry on top is just stop holding people to standards that you don't hold yourself.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's been today's episode of the Relationships and Chill podcast, the ultimate podcast for dating and relationships. I hope you've enjoyed this episode about your individual uniqueness in a relationship, how to maintain it and how to get it. And make sure you guys subscribe to the show and relationshipsandchill.com. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the email list so that you can stay further in the loop of great information that will help you progress your life, your relationships, and just overall, just everything you experience. So we appreciate your time. Peace and blessings. It's been Coach R. Anthony, Coach E. Lulu, Coach Christina Lynn, and Candace Jr., baby. Peace.
Thanks for listening to Relationships and Chill. For more information on cultivating the relationship of your dreams, please follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Relationships and Chill, or subscribe to our YouTube channel at Relationships and Chill TV. You can also visit our website at www.relationshipsandchill.com. Together, let's make relationships great again.